Hey everyone, Imran, Web Squadron, Thursday, 3:34 p.m. I'm at that point where I'm just about to wind down for the day. Some of you may be surprised by this because I know some people are. Whenever I say I'm about to wind down at like 3 p.m. or 4 p.m., they kind of go, but I thought you worked like all the time. Even if I finish at 4 p.m., excluding time to maybe nip to the toilet or grab something to eat or feed the cats or do a bit of weight training or stuff in between, I still would have hit approximately 10 and a half hours for the day. And that's before we get into the evening where I may jump in and out of doing a bit of work here and there or some other stuff. So yeah, there's always stuff to do. I'm just going to double check my lighting is okay. I think I'm a bit dark. This side is meant to be shadow side anyway, but I'm just checking if I need to lighten up. I don't want to go too bright on this side of my face, but I think that should do it. Cool. Okay, cool. Am I live? It says I'm live, so I should be live. Anyway, just double checking the privacy is on public. When it says no one's watching, I always get a little bit nervous. But anyway, I'm not going to let that stop me anyway. Right. Cool. Yeah. Right. So I want to talk about how I go about planning, because it's a common question that gets asked quite a lot. But I'm just going to change one of my screens just so that you can see me fully. Okay. Hey, Emmanuel, how you doing? Thanks very much for confirming that I am live. Hey, Dennis, hope you're okay too. A lot of people, no, that wasn't right. How do I, basically, I'm recording this bit. Hey, Raheem, you're right. Raheem's outside doing whatever he's doing with his friends. A common question that comes my way is how do I manage my planning of my tasks? Because as you know, I'm always very busy. I've got web design agency, recording videos, collaborating with people. I like to stay fit. I like to do exercise. I like to burn calories. But how do I manage all of that? And I've often spoken about using Notion, and I've kind of described it when I've done some live chats, but I've never actually shown you a proper example. I work with 3 tables, okay? 3 tables whereby I get to manage what I'm doing in terms of managing my tasks. And I'm going to show them to you on screen right now. So this is an example. This is not my actual tasks because I'm not going to show you some secret hidden stuff and I can't reveal all client details. But if you're using Notion, it's really easy and simple for you to set up like pages, different tabs for different projects, for different tasks, for different things that are going on in your life. And you can very easily link between them as well. So your master task page could be where you keep track of all your different projects and when you need to complete or get them done or deadlines that are coming in. And then you can have a link that takes you over to another particular project or the specific project. So you can now see all of the other details. It might have things like your contract, your cost, what you're meant to deliver, who's responsible for what, your fonts, your colors, your images, all of these things. And you can keep them all in one place in Notion. Now, the reason why Notion can work for you really, really well is that you can access it on your mobile phone, wherever you are around the world. You can access it on your laptop, your desktop, wherever you can access Notion, basically. So any time of the day, you may suddenly want to update a project or your task list. Even if you're out shopping and you suddenly think of something or you have an idea, you just jump in and do it. So I have 3 tables. These are spaced out because I don't want to reveal all the tables in one go. But if you imagine when I get up at 5 a.m. and I'm now on my step or exercising, I review this every day. And as the day goes on, I review it again. Because I may change my mind on a few things or change the order or delete something or add something or update. So this is always evolving, okay? So the table number 1 is where I put down everything that needs to be done or anything that's currently in progress. So it's just a table with just 2 columns. Keep this really simple. You will find Notion planners out there that people sell for like $5, $40, whatever. And they're quite complicated. They link into everything. There's calculation tabs. There's loads of funky things going on. Seriously, I like my task lists and how I manage things to be as simple as what you would normally do when we did not use computers and stuff like this to manage our tasks. What do? We grabbed a bit of paper and we made a list, right? A checklist. That's all I want. I want things really simple and easy to manage. So what I'll do is I will just list down what I want to do. So how to use Notion to manage tasks, to record. Well, that's kind of what I'm doing now. Why are designers not asking AI to record? That tells me it's a video, okay? Property management makeover outline. So there's a web design project. I need to go and do an outline. I need to get it done by the 14th of July. By the way, today is the 16th of July, so these are fake dates I've just shoved into here, okay? I was meant to record this video 3 days ago, but hey, I was a bit late. Studio tour, that's all done. The links, mapping out hero banner. So all you do on here is put down your task list. That's all you got to do. Just put down what you need to get done, and you need to then just put down like, where are you at the moment? To record, to scribble, to outline. Do you need to get more details? This list could be 5 items, 50 items. It can be as big as it needs to be. Right, I'm just going to double check now. Some people are saying that they are getting jumpiness. Now, I'm not getting any jumpiness, so do you want to change your resolution or anything like that? Because at the moment, I'm not seeing that on where I'm recording, so it's a bit difficult for me to confirm that if it's a problem or not. Maybe just refresh the screen or refresh the channel. Maybe. I think it's okay. Maybe it's because I'm recording. I don't know. I'll make sure I get the recording done really quick. So that's table number 1. Okay, really simple and easy to do. This is now table number 2. So this is my everything I want to get done, right? Things I might want to get done today, tomorrow, next week, next year, whatever. Anything and everything I want to do for the business or my career or my brand. Anything you want to get done. Table number 2, which normally sits directly underneath, is now where I break it down into hour bands. Now, even though I get up at 5 a.m., I still like to give myself some buffer breathing time because I might be looking at emails, notifications, DMs, other stuff like that. YouTube comments and things. So what I do is I break it down into time bands. So 6 to 9, 9 to 10. 6 to 9 is a reason. Normally it's 5 to 9, okay? But go with me on this. So 6 to 9, 9 to 10, and it goes da-da-da-da-da all the way down to 3. Because after 3, I can flex it. I may stop working. I may work later on in the evening. I may do some other stuff. And this isn't just for my tasks, okay? This may blow your mind a little bit. I'm popping down over here in column number 3 the tasks may be from above. And when am I going to tackle them? So when am I editing? When am I uploading? When am I doing the thumbnail cover art? When am I working on the property makeover outline? When am I looking at hero banners? When am I going to do them? You'll notice that some of these are grey because they are my focus times. They are the times where I don't want to deviate. I need to get things done. Anything that is in white, I can deviate a little bit. Maybe I might want to work on something else, or maybe something else pops into my head and I'm like, oh, I want to go and learn about this or research or play around with something. So my grey are my focus times. They're the tasks, and I lift them up from what I have here. So I review this each day and I go, right, what am I going to tackle today? I'm a bit worried about that actually, because some people are saying that the video is not smooth. And I do wonder, is it because I'm recording? Is it because I'm recording? If you give me 5 minutes or 4 minutes, I will be finishing this recording. And when I stop the recording, hopefully it kicks back into gear. But that's interesting to know. So just give me 4 minutes. Give me 4 minutes, okay? And then hopefully hopefully it should be all right. Just give me 4 minutes, everyone. Where was I? Yeah. So that's column number 2. So that's I got it wrong now. So that's column number 2. Column number 1 is where let me start that bit again because I'm losing my mind now. That's column number 2. Now, column number 1, you're probably going, what is that? 850, 1000, 1300, 1600. That's based on today. How many calories do I want to burn when I'm on my stepper? So I was going at it at an easy, a medium pace. I want to have burned 850 calories by 9 a.m. And by the time I get to midday, because I can do these while stepping, I don't have to be sat at my desk while creating thumbnail cover art or uploading onto YouTube and doing the description, or when I'm doing an outline. I can do that while standing on my stepper. The desk is raised up. I'm looking at my screen. I can still be stepping while working. You know, you can still exercise. You can still burn calories and all that. So that's what I do. So not only am I tracking my tasks, I like to track and set myself a target for what I want to do in terms of exercise as well. You could say, God damn it, man, can't you just give yourself a break? It's all about focus. So for me, every day is not just about work, it's about health and lifestyle as well. The third column over here, this is probably a bit of a clue. This is my eating. So at midday or 11 a.m., I'm going to have a protein bar. That's 200 calories. I will have a keto cookie. KETO cookies, 154 calories, takes me up to 354 accumulative. I will then have 2 cheeseburgers tonight. They're not your McDonald's cheeseburgers, they're frozen ones with cheese inside. 2 of them equals 442. And then I'll have a protein keto shake later on in the evening, that's 199. So I'm literally tracking what I'm going to eat as well, and when I'm going to eat as well. So it's my tasks, when am I going to do it? How many calories do I want to burn? So that means I will burn hopefully 1,600. In fact, I can tell you now it's 1,640. You probably can't see that, but it's 1,640. This takes me to a total of 995. And if I stick to it, and I don't have any snacks or anything like that, that means I've got a deficit of 600 and a bit calories. That's like how I like to operate. And over here, the final column, and again, you probably never realized that this is how much I focus. This morning, after I've done my work, before I have my shower, and I do have a shower every day, biceps and triceps. And then at midday, I stop working and I do 10, 15 minutes of biceps. And then later on this evening, after I've done the live chat, I'll go and do some triceps. So I'm so much focused on what I'm doing. So I'm keeping track of what I'm eating, what my tasks are, all of that. You don't have to go that far. Believe me, you don't have to go that far. You may just only have one column for tasks. But if you want to make a change in your life, this is a great way to keep track. Now I have a table number 3. Let me scroll down. Table number 3. And this is the future. This is my outline for what's going to happen coming forward. So we know we've got my table of everything I want to get done. This is not the full table, by the way. If I showed you my actual sheet, it's got loads more other stuff on there. But just this is a starter for 10 to show you what it's like. Table number 2, what am I doing today? And then I have my plan. And this starts on Monday, so next week, 14th of July. No, in fact, 14th of July was this week. Sorry, this week, 14th of July. What am I working on? So today is record video on Notion. Tomorrow will be a video about how to ask AI. Then there may be some edits. I've got to make sure I've packed my bags because me and my son are going to Jersey next week on Thursday, the 24th, and we come back on the 28th. And then, like, when are my haircut appointments? When are my dentist appointments? Have I got any consultations that are booked in? Any one-to-ones that I'm doing with a company or a business or anything? I'm even put down here my last YT. What does last YT mean? In fact, that's wrong. It should not be over there. It's actually over here. I should change it. So I know that I've got YouTube videos uploaded and scheduled, right? They're already recorded, they're already uploaded until the 1st of October. That is how I keep track of everything. So whether it's my parents' evening, whether it's taking my son out somewhere, maybe I'm getting something painted, maybe I'm visiting someone. I know you've got Google Calendar. I know you've got the calendar on your iPhone. I've got all that. But sometimes being able to just look at this every morning, and whenever I want to just double check things during the day, I can open this one tab and I can go, what needs doing? what am I planned to do for today, and what is there that I need to make sure I'm aware of going forwards. And that is how I manage my time every day. Even weekends, every day, every night, whenever I want, I come in and I look at this and I know what I'm doing. And this works. This is easy for you to build. This is free. I mean, why is that in pink? The reason that is in pink is because that is when my son is on summer holidays from school. So I now know that I'm probably not going to get as much done during this 6 weeks, but I can plan around it. And that's it. That's how easy it is for you to manage your time. I hope you enjoy that. I'm Imran from Web Squadron. Like, subscribe, share, and follow. See you soon. I'm now going to hit stop recording. So there you go. Sorry if there was a bit of a buffer issue, everyone. Sorry if there was a buffer issue. Because I was recording. So I hope that's okay. Yeah, so John says automate. I mean, I find that I prefer to just manually do it, John. I just prefer to just manually manage what I'm doing and stuff like that. So if anyone is having any buffer issues, you may want to, let me just go, burp. You may want to just refresh YouTube now. I'll give you all about 10 seconds. So hit refresh. Now, this is interesting. Because obviously some of you have said you still get, I don't know, right. If you're still getting this issue, that says to me that maybe it's a YouTube thing. But because there was this, for a while, I remember quite a few people, oh, Dennis says it's okay. Okay, cool. So there was an issue with YouTube for a while where sometimes you would get these annoying buffer issues. I'm just going to double check something. Just bear with me for a moment. Do you know what? Do you know what's really annoying? I've just played back my video. That has also got the buffering issue. So I'm going to have to re-record that video anyway. Bummer. That is a real bummer. So I'm going to have to do that video again anyway. So yeah, to be honest, it's not that bad to do it again. I'll treat it like a draft. Ugh. When I have done video, when I have done recordings at the same time, Dennis, normally there's not been an issue, but I think because I've now got a higher quality camera, so it's doing it at a higher bit rate, I think the double encoding there did tip it over. So, oh my goodness, I just literally recorded, and now that recording is a dead recording. And I probably lost a lot of people that came to watch because the quality was so bad. So that's right. Lesson learned. Oh man, that's a big lesson I've just learned now. Yeah, sorry, that's a lesson learned. Are you still struggling? Is everyone still getting an issue right now with the footage? Are you all still getting buffering issues? Is it still buffering for you, John? Are you still getting issues? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Shouldn't be an issue. Can anyone just confirm? Are you still? Dennis says refresh. Old Fat Trucker says good. Okay, cool. We're okay. Yeah. It's called chilling. So, I'm a little bit bummed out, but at least I've learned now not to do that again. One of the ways that you can do a recording of your live chat is you do the live chat and you download it from YouTube. Hey Phil, but the trouble is that when you download from YouTube, it then becomes a yeah, I might have to. The thing is though, Dennis, I'll come back onto that. I'll come back onto what you just said there, Dennis. when you download from YouTube, even though it's your own channel, it drops it to 720p. And god damn it, that 720p drop is so ridiculously, I was going to swear then, not good. And when you have to upscale it, and it's not great. There is a way to download it though in full high def. I need to find out. I need to find a way. I think it was a there was a third party channel you had to use to get it. Anyway, Dennis, so I heard a rumor, Dennis, that the Mac Mini M5 will either be announced in September or probably more likely February 2026. Yeah, Jokermania, go for it. You can ask. So, because I nearly bought a Mac Mini. Yeah, that's okay, Jokermania. Ask away, and if I can't help, someone else can. So I nearly got I nearly went for the Mac Mini M4 Pro as well. I know I looked at the M3 Ultra, but I felt like the M4 Pro was probably better. I nearly went for it about around the time when I was looking at a camera, and I nearly went for it 3-4 weeks ago. And then I was like, actually, I'll wait and I'll get the camera first and see how that handles things and everything. And then last week, I heard a rumor that there might be a Mac Mini M5. Mac Mini M5. One thing I am annoyed about, though, Dennis, is how the Mac Mini M2 Pro, which is what I've got, has 4 Thunderbolt or USB-C ports. The Mac Mini M4, does that only have 3, if I'm correct? It only has 3. And it only has 1 USB 2 port. Oh, I'm probably wrong here now. I can't remember. So I may just hold fire and see if the Mac Mini M5... If the Mac Mini M5 comes out, I will probably make the leap to that. And I did consider a Mac Studio as well. Yeah, free. Because I do use all 4 for loads of stuff. And I do use both USB 2s as well. So, 2 USB 3 ports on the front. Yeah, I mean, of course you can get adapters and stuff to extend it and all of that. But I prefer it when things are directly connected to it. So Jokermania says, whoops, I'm creating a website for a customer, which is a type of playground. It will have around 6 or 7 event services like trampolines, You want me to have a plugin to select a date or time frame, for example, 10/11, but in this time slot, I need to see the slots available for that time frame. I'm just trying to think here because you just need like an appointment booking plugin. And I think what you need to do is go to Google and just, you'll find a blog post about what each plugin does. And then you just have to assess it based on what do you need for your purposes. Or you could just go to ChatGPT. So what you've said is you need to be able to book particular different playing equipment, right? And then all you've got to do then is, yeah, I mean, by the way, Dennis, I mean, I probably won't bother with the SSD bit because I've already got this 2 terabyte, which is pretty handy, really, really good. This is a 4 gigs read and write, and it works absolutely fine with the USB 4 or the Thunderbolt 4 ports and all of that. Back to Jokermania. So go to ChatGPT, and if you specify what you're trying to achieve, so you say, you want to select a date and a time, pretty simple. Do you want it to be able to pay? Is it just for quoting? Is it for taking a deposit? Is it for allowing coupons and stuff like that? I mean, there's loads of plugins out there. I mean, it's one of the areas that is plugin heavy with stuff, but it all very much depends on the facilities you want to have. And then you've also got to think about, do you want the customer to then have a login so they can go to their account to review what they get, exchange messages with the company as well? Maybe they change their mind, canceling, maybe they have additional needs and stuff like that. So if you go to ChatGPT, no, payments should be online, also paying locally. Yep, that's absolutely fine. But if you go to ChatGPT and clarify all the things you want, ChatGPT will be able to write it for you. Pretty simply. Not write it for you. I said that wrong. It will inform you, and maybe you want to be really specific. Are you only after free plugins? There are free plugins out there that you could use. Yeah, so you could do that. There are plugins that you can also use in addition to WooCommerce. So you could have all your products, you could have your price. That will then allow you to have your cart and checkout and your account page for the clients and customers if they ever want to go back and review, see what they've purchased or whatever. But then you can get additional plugins to then have an appointment booking thing bolted on to the product, right? So it very much depends on what you're trying to achieve. And I would say that, in the old days, if I was looking at, say, we did a lottery website once. That was a pain in the ass, but we did a lottery website, and I had to go through Google. I was aware of some of them, but I was like looking at, when you have a blog post where someone has reviewed the 5 best lottery or gaming plugins, and you look at the pros and cons and the cost and what it does and how much effort is required and all of that, and then you go and test them out, make a decision. But what you can do now is just go to ChatGPT. So you're saying ChatGPT, no. Amelia's a little bit overboard, right? Amelia is overboard, right? You don't need Amelia, okay? You need to kind of, you don't need Amelia. Yeah, Crocoblock booking, that's a good one, but that's only if you're using Jet Engine, Crocoblock, and all, their entire suite. Or not even their entire suite. Jet Engine, Jet Smart Filters, and then Jet Appointments. No, not Jet Appointments, sorry, Jet Booking, right? You can do it with that. But there are other plugins you could use as well. But not Amelia. Amelia is good when you have named people. So if you're a hairdresser and you're providing services, Amelia is overkill because it's just one hairdresser. If, however, you're a hairdresser and you've got 10 hairdressers and they have their own clients and their own services, then stuff like Amelia is good. Otherwise, it is overkill, like really over. In fact, I'm just trying to think. WP Appointment Booking. There's that plugin which you can use for free. If you want to accept payments, I think you have to pay £5 a month, I think it is, or something like that. Or is it £5 one-off? WP booking system. All you're looking for is a really basic booking system. So Booking Press ticks all the boxes, but I want to be 100% sure on what I choose. The only person who's going to know is you. Because we could all start reeling off different plugins we've worked with. But like Booknetic, I think it's called. That's a really good plugin, but it's about $80, I think. You have to get it from Envato or somewhere. But I would say that you just need to Bookly. That's it. Bookly's another good one. Only you're gonna know. Only you're gonna know. Based on your user experience and the interface as well. Because I do feel like some plugins are really good, but the way they present and do things is really ugly kind of thing. Amelia is it's not simple, but it's not that difficult either. It has good presentation. And if you get stuck, there's tons of people, right? There's forums on it. They have their support area as well. What you don't want to do is go for a plugin that's not supported very well or is supported by just one person. There's a few like that. And you don't realize sometimes until you get it. And if they're not available, no requests get done. Chris, Fluent Bookings as well. I mean, there's a good range, but I would say this, right? If you think BookingPress is the one that ticks your box, right? If you take some of the Phil says I disagree. Go on, Phil. I love it when you come out with your views. One person. What? No, you are right. No, you are right, Phil. One person is fine. My worry though is that when you have plugins where there's one person and then that person drops dead, what happens to the plugin? I know, Phil. Give this. I do. But I do always worry about there's a word. Oh, I can't get the word out of my head now. What's the plan if the developer drops dead? Especially if it's a premium plugin. Hey, Robert. So if someone has paid for a plugin and then the developer drops dead, because if I pay for it, I would expect there to be like a contingency. That's it. What's the contingency plan kind of thing in the back end? So I would say, Joke Mania, right? You got BookingPress, right? Fluent Bookings has been mentioned. Bookly's been mentioned. I don't know if there were a few others mentioned. WP Appointment Booking, WP Booking as well. Plugins, okay. If you take them into ChatGPT and say, okay, ChatGPT, this is what I want to do, and I'm leaning towards BookingPress, but I've also been informed about these other plugins. What do you think? What do you think when you compare them to BookingPress? Is any one of them better or something in terms of the features? So base it on what do I get with BookingPress and then compare it to all of these other plugins. Do any of them give me something extra on top which would be beneficial for me? And then you got to kind of go from there. No, you are right, Phil. Documentation. Robert, I don't have to worry about that anymore because I just sold my plugin to Polysmith. Ooh, nice one, Robert. I mean, yeah, you are right. You're absolutely right, Phil. You are right. You do have to start somewhere. I, however, though, come from a different school of thought. I come out from I like to know that if I'm buying something, that there's some form of a contingency plan somewhere, or it's already in work in motion, or it's on a roadmap. Because, I mean, to be honest, though, everything and anything we use, like Apple could go bust, or Sky TV, or Netflix, not that that matters that much, or Elemental, you know, they may suddenly go, right, we're closing shop, that's it, done, boom, we're done. And then you got to kind of like work out what you're going to do. But there have been instances where I've had clients and they were using a plugin and then the plugin never updated for a while. And then there's like a vulnerability or a risk and there's literally no one there to sort it out. And in the end, unless you go in and hack into the plugin, which I don't really want to do, you end up just moving on to something else kind of thing. Nunkey, just develop one by yourself better than using someone else's plugin. Heh. Well, yeah, which is kind of what I try to do with a lot of code snippets. I get so much criticism, though, over people that say to me, why have you made a code snippet for something that you could do with a plugin? And they completely misunderstand that, number one, I'm not reliant now on a third party. Number two, it's done for free because it's not having to pay a premium now. Was that number 3 or number 2? I've lost the order now. And you're in control of it. You know, so if it messes up, it's on you. And then you would go away and hopefully refine it to make it better. Jokomania says, I recently watched one of your videos about jet appointment based on your experiences. Do you think... Jet appointment is good. However, I like Crocker Block, but I also get a bit annoyed with how you have to think quite a bit about your jet engine and all of that. And I've always had this thing about the fact that you have to install a plugin to use another plugin always annoys me. Now, you could argue that you can't use like WooCommerce subscription unless you got WooCommerce. I always feel that's different. I always feel like people that try and argue it that way, I'm like, yeah, it's not really the same though, because like the WooCommerce subscription is an add-on for the WooCommerce. Whereas Jet Appointment or Jet Booking, if that's what I want to use, I shouldn't have to use Jet Engine kind of thing. I get why. Don't get me wrong. I understand why. I know that. But it always gets me a little bit. Because I remember there was a time where some people, they buy Jet Smart Filter. They literally just bought that. And then they realize, oh, but I need Jet Engine. So they have to go and buy that. And that's the thing that always irritates me a bit about it. Dennis, what's the most underrated tool for your studio? It's right here, my friend. Look. Look at all of that. Look at that high def. Look, you can see. Whoa. Is it zooming in? No, it's not focusing. It's not focusing. Focus. Maybe it's because I'm too close. There you go. You can see some of the hair sticking out over there. Just there on that tip there. But that's it. Lint roller. You should always have one of this. Sits just behind my monitor. So when I'm about to record, I whip it out and then just start, just all over myself kind of thing. You need to get one of these. It's not the end of the world, but I tell you what, when you realize you haven't done it or you forgot to do it and you play back a video of yourself and you're editing, yeah, well, Phil. But when you realize you haven't done it and then there's like a hair like right here kind of thing, or there's a few, or maybe when you were brushing your teeth you didn't realize that there was a little speck of like toothpaste that flicked out and it just landed there. And once you get toothpaste on your clothes, even if it's just a dot, a speck, you can lick your finger and lick it as much as you want. That speck is not disappearing. What is it about toothpaste? If you get a speck of it on your jeans and you start licking your finger and rubbing your leg to get rid of it or wherever it landed, it will go and then like a ghost, it reappears, doesn't it? You ever had that problem? I mean, there's been times when I'm recording and I edit and I go, oh, for God's sake, there's a couple of specks of like, maybe it's toothpaste or something. Has anyone else experienced that? Now, for those of you that don't record videos, you're going to go, nah, I'm not bothered, nah, move on. But for those that record videos or have done, the whole cat hair, and all of that, and specks of toothpaste. I mean, it might have happened when you've gone to work. Maybe you were in your suit, you've traveled on the train. So you've sat with people, train station. You've gone through London, walked. You get into the lift. You're now going up the lift to your offices, your team and everything, right? Whatever. And then as you turn in the lift, when you got the like full wall scale mirror, and you're looking at yourself and you're just checking that, everything's all right. Your tie's okay. You go, what? And you notice right here, there's like a drop of toothpaste that was on your suit. It was on your suit and you didn't notice it at the time earlier in the morning when you checked the mirror. It's been on your suit from the moment you left home to the train station, got on the train for an hour, walked through the underground, got an underground train, got to the office, got to live. There's toothpaste on your top. And it's white. The worst thing is, right, is why do all of these stains have to be white? Right? And the worst bit is if you get them, like, somewhere down here. near your groin area on your jeans or your trousers. That's the worst thing. Because you're walking around now and you're trying to adjust like your shirt or your t-shirt or your top. And you got all these white things. You know what my problem is, Dennis? My problem is that I shave and everything before I get in the shower. My problem is, and it always has been, is that I brush my teeth after I've had my shower, done my hair, got changed. Then I do it. It's literally like the last thing I do before I go down. And common sense would be brush your bloody teeth before you get in the shower. But for some reason, I don't know what it is about me. It's like I have this order of doing things. Call it OCD or call it something else. And if you forget some spot in your face, oh, Dennis. I mean, there's been times where I remember, I think it was so when you're trimming or shaving, and I hadn't done this bit properly, so I could feel thicker hair, and I thought, oh man, what have I done? I haven't done this part properly. And or sometimes you do this, and this feels, I don't really do clean shave. I tend to just get electric trimmer. I just trim it right down, right? And like here it feels, it's not smooth, but it's just really tiny stubble. And then you go here and you go, what? That feels like a full-scale bush. What's going on? And you're like this. You go, hold on. Is it my fingers? Sorry. Is it my fingers? So you swap your fingers and you go, no. That's not too bad. But this side is like a full-scale bush. I'd make that adjustment in Notion. You are right, old fat trucker. I'm going to have to go back in now. I'm now going to have to subdivide my rows into brush teeth. No, trim, brush teeth, shower. Yeah, that might work. That might work, right? I mean, this is all about real life, though, at the end of the day, isn't it? Right? This is what this is what I love about the live chats, is that we're not just talking about, I was about to say we're not just talking about real life, even though we are, but, it's not just all about life, if that makes sense. Full scale sandpaper. That is sometimes how it feels. And yeah. And even the electric trimmer I got, it's like, it is unbelievably close. But even after I've trimmed, the stubble still feels like it's 1 millimeter long. And, you can still feel it. But I don't, but that's why I don't. Sorry, I was about to say that's why I don't. You don't even know the reason. I don't do clean shaven. Whenever I used to do clean shaven, hey, from the Philippines, can you post some roadmaps for WordPress 2025? Well, the only roadmaps for WordPress 25 are what they post on their own website about, their new versions coming out. They're the only roadmaps we have at the moment, really. But I don't do clean shaven because whenever I used to, I always get they're not heat spots, but they're like shade, you get little spots popping up. They look like heat spots. And even after you put on aftershave, it makes it worse. It's like my skin is super sensitive to shaving. So I just do stubble now. Just stubbly stubble. Hey, Gary. Morning to you too, my friend. I always shave with 4 knife blades. What? Knife blades? What, you mean it's got 4, obviously, blades inside? Not you don't sit there like Rambo style going like that kind of thing, do you? Yeah. So, but yeah, that's what I get, sensitive heat spots. Then, you have these it's not cuts. It's not that I've gone too close. I could just do a little, just a normal bit there. And I get I don't like that. I really don't like that look because then, you might get a bit of raised skin. It looks like a bump. And sometimes with aftershave, it goes down. And sometimes it continues to get bigger. And I don't like that look, especially if you get it here. You know, when you get it, if you get it round here, you almost go, annoying. But you know, when you get it here, you know what it looks like when you have it here? Do you know what it looks like? It looks like you've got not hernia, herpes. I was about to say hernia. It's like you got herpes, like a big cold sore. But it's not a cold sore. And it's like, I mean, if you stood sideways like this, it's like out here. And you're like this, pushing it. And if you touch it, you make it worse. And if you put spit on it, I don't think that helps. And you put aftershave on it, and if you put too much aftershave, you make it redder. So you're walking around with this big red bump like that. It's like someone took a laser gun and shot you, like boom, right on your lip, kind of thing. I think a lot of men here will understand that. And if there's any, I'm sure females will understand too. I'm sure when you've shaven your legs and bits and pieces and armpits and other places and face as well, maybe, I don't know. I bet you get these heat bumps as well. I feel like I just pulled my arm muscle just then. I was doing my bicep earlier and I feel like I've just felt something twang right down here. Not the bicep, but right there. Ooh. Yeah, I've twanged that muscle. You know when you have, because when you press it, you can move the muscle bit there. Right, that's that. Right, I'll probably skip doing any more arm exercises later today. Ah, yes, the bearded ladies. Oh man, I could tell you a story. So when I did German in secondary school, aged 13 to 14. No, was it 13 to 14? Well, yeah, 13 to 14. The second year and third year of secondary school. Our German teacher, I think for a lot of us in that class, right? And our classroom was very varied, right, in ethnicities and everything like that, okay? I don't think there was a single person in that class where it was like for the first time, I remember we had our first lesson, German, and at playtime, we all stood there like, and we even spoke to people we didn't even know. You know, they might have been new to our class or whatever, because there was only selected people who were allowed to learn German. If you were good in French in the first year of secondary school, you got to do German as well. Multilingual crap and all of that. Not that I care. I'm happy just speaking English. So you got into German, and you were and the teacher, right? The teacher, because we were all shocked. Like, right, is this normal? We were like, is this real? Did we imagine this? She had, I would say, the equivalent of what I've got now. And it was literally just down to the fact that she didn't like shaving. That was literally it. Because we got into trouble once as well because talking about it. And to be honest, we were immature about it. So that was we got our hands slapped for that. Not literally, but you know. And apparently she just didn't like shaving. Shaving, because there was this one time when we went to Etretat, France. We stayed in Etretat, and then we went to Paris and some other places in France. And that teacher came with us as well. And I tell you what, the hair on the legs was astronomical. I don't think I should talk about this subject anymore. It's quite traumatizing to bring back these memories, and I'm probably going to get in trouble for talking about it now. I've got nothing against people if you want to have hairy legs or whatever, but I'm just saying there was a memory that's come back based on what we're talking about, where the hair was the equivalent of what I have here. This. Very, very big. Anyway. Old Fat Trucker, have you found clients getting tighter with their money? Yes, I have. This is something that I've touched on in the last few live chats now and again. But this is very Are you a trucker, by the way, old fat trucker? Would you just live in a truck? And are you old and fat? I'm going to question your name now. Are you old and are you fat? And are you a trucker? Kind of thing. I need to know the answer to this. Right, so I have found that clients are... So I've had... I did some websites for some big consultants, okay, about last year. And they paid what they paid. And then they referred me to some of their other associated businesses that they know of who are quite lucrative. It's not like they haven't got money in the bank. They're quite lucrative. And when I told them the price, and it was a tiny bit, not a huge amount, just a tiny bit higher than what I would have charged last year, they went running. They were like, oh, yeah, oh, no, we've got some other people who are way cheaper. And when people use that word, way cheaper, we are moving now into a world where there's always been a competition over premium prices, mediocre, medium prices. I say mediocre, but average, medium. Then you have low prices and even lower. Now we're going into the gig economy like Fiverr, Upwork, people that say, well, build your website for $60 and all of that, right? Because of AI... And the fact that now there's so many adverts and videos and stuff saying, hey, you don't even have to think. You just have to say what your business is, what your industry is, and boom. Because people know what GoDaddy and stuff like that do. When you go, oh, yeah, I'm a baker, and it gives you like a very website. But now you can really take it places with AI. But even then, AI is only going to get you so far. It's going to basically be giving you like a template-y website. And if you are one of those people where you're like, I don't care, just put my logo in, put my name in. Yeah, I mean, how many websites out there don't even have domains? Look at all the people that are killing it on TikTok and Instagram and places where they're selling products. Hey, look at me in my wonderful shoes. Hey, look at my bag. Look at my makeup. Look at my Y fronts and whatever they're selling, right? And then they have a link to their shop, and their shop, the domain is like yfronts.localinsta. something whatever. It's a subdomain of a domain of a domain of a whatever. They're not even bothering to get their own domain. Then look at their contact email, gmail.com, tiscali.com, netscape.com. I have never come across a netscape.com, but I'm just throwing that in there, right? Okay, Nimbus 2000. Do you remember the Nimbus 2000 computers? It's what we had at school back in 1988 or something like that. So they haven't even got proper emails. A lot of the domains are just subdomains of whatever they're using. A lot of them are using... my brain is going on me today. When you show links. Oh, what's it called? What's it called? When you have links and it's just like one pager. Come on, Imran, you should know this. You should know this because I've done videos on this and my alternatives. Page of links. You have links. It's for the mobile or the desktop. It's just a page of links. It's called... What's it called? Come on, Imran, you should know this. We should know this. Do I need to look it up? Unless anyone can remember. They say go to my links and they just have a page. What's it called? Not Listing Pro. Not, I can't believe this. My brain has gone on me. My brain has completely gone on me. No, not sitemap. Wait, I've got to... Oh, come on. Come on, Imran. Come on. Links on a... What is it? I can't believe this. I can't remember. I cannot remember. Link page. Link. No, it's not Linkly. It's Link. Come on, Imran. Linktree. I'm talking about Linktree. Right? Linktree. Social tree. Linktree. Okay? How did I forget that? Maybe because I don't like using it. Bio as well, link bio, right? So many people on TikTok, Insta, Twitter, loads of places, they're just using that, right? And those services, if you pay a fee, allow you to add your own domain. How many people have you seen have actually gone and got their own domain? Like how many? Right? Do you remember in the old days, how many websites did you have where it was something like farmerjacksturnips.geocities.com? Right? How many people have got a shop whereby it's like old fat truckers sandwiches oldfattruckersandwiches.shopify.com? Gary says 0. Really? I mean, in the old days, in the old day, you'll remember, Gary, in the old days, there used to be quite a few of them, but I come across so many, unbelievably so many, you know, from YouTube, TikTok, most like that. Yeah, you are right, Gary. That's the other thing as well. There are what I call major scams. So what happens is you'll have people, they set up like 20 TikTok accounts to promote one product. Or they set up 20 YouTube channels to promote one product or something like that. So anyway, back to the whole YouTube side of things, not YouTube, websites. So clients now want more for less because we've moved into a world where I think the older generation, and I'm not trying to be ageist here, right? But I am going to say anyone aged over, I'm not going to say 30. I'm going to say anyone aged over 40. So if you're under 40, I'm sorry if I'm creating this division. Anyone aged over 40 values what you get and what you pay for. And they are happy to pay a bit more if they know they're going to get gold standard service or an amazing extension or a brilliant car or a great communication, interaction, engagement. We're prepared to go the extra mile a little bit or whatever. Between 40 to 30 is where it becomes a little bit needy, where they want more for their buck, bang for buck, right? They're kind of being protected and looked after sometimes, usually by their friends and family and whatever, and they want more. So the minority will pay more, the majority don't want to. Now, when you go under the 30 market now, we're going into people who are in their 20s, right? They really don't want to pay a lot because they are going to be the ones that are more into spending money on materialistic things. And I'm being really generalistic here, but they're going to want to get the best car, the best furniture, the best clothing, the best hairstyle, the best lip filler, and all loads of stuff, right? They want to be like their celebrities they follow on Insta and Love Island and all of that. You know, they want to be really pumped up, abs and six abs and biceps and training and everything like that. The best food, the best restaurants, clubbing, going on holidays 3 or 4 times a year and then complaining they ain't got money for a deposit for a house or something, but they'll still go on holiday and whatever. Or if they get a pay rise, you know, like the NHS staff, and I'm talking fact here, they complain about money, but when they get that pay rise, and they complain about energy prices, but when they get that pay rise, boom, that day, book a holiday, book a holiday, book a holiday. They are going to be even less inclined to want to pay too much for a website because they just see it as, well, it's just a platform. It's just a signposting thing. And why do I want to pay a lot of money for something when, well, I could just use TikTok. I could just use Linktree. I could just use Twitter and Insta and Facebook. I could set up a Facebook page. And when you go below 20, well, I don't think they got any clue at the moment. You do have the minority that are entrepreneurs, that are creating amazing things with lovable and vibe coding or just general business. Doesn't even have to be digital, right? You have the real thinkers. They are there, but they are minority. But under 20, they just care more about Roblox and Fortnite and Minecraft and stuff like that, and just living life because their life is full of amazing technology. right? Whereas the over 40, and if anyone's listening and doesn't agree with me, please stick it in the comments. But the over 40, I feel like, I'm 46. We grew up without the technology, right? We grew up without that. And some of us started to experience computers and the internet and stuff like that when we were 18, 19. Some of us, maybe when they were 13, 14 kind of thing, right? We went through our childhood having to learn and understand that you have to go to a library. You have to respect the rules of the library, the librarian, the person who knew who could get you a book, who could help you out. I need to photocopy this document. I have to go here to photocopy because we did not have printers at home. We didn't even have a computer at home. And you couldn't just go to school and say, oh, can I get a copy of this? No, you had to sort it out yourself. So we had to learn and we appreciated it, right? If you needed help and you had to go and speak to a policeman or something, if you needed help with shopping or finding something, and a shopkeeper took you down and showed you, right, that's what you need. That's the product you need. You valued it because it felt like someone had stepped out of their comfort zone to help you. Even a librarian. When you went over to a librarian and said, Terry Pratchett's got a brand new book. Have you got that book? You felt like you had to go because you felt like you were disturbing them. Oh, do you know if this book is out and where I go? Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, and you go. Now people don't care. Now they expect, hey, you got that book? Yeah, I want that. Where's that music? Where's that album? Hey, what's dropping? Hey, where's my doner kebab? This pizza is not round. This pizza is oblong. Why is it not perfectly round? I have my rights. God damn it. You know, round pizzas matter and all of this. There's so much going on. And I can't believe I'm talking about this, but I link it very much back to website prices as well and stuff. If anyone is offended by anything I said, I really don't mean to be offensive or generalistic or broad, but I'm putting it out there that prices and what people are willing to pay, people are a little bit more like they want to know they're getting a lot for what they pay. And if all they want is a signposting website, like a brochure website, even appointment book, even personal coaches. They want a booking website, but they're like, no, I don't want to pay that much for it because my mate got one for like $60. But, you know, I want a bit more, but why is it 10 times the cost of what they got? Makes no sense. So you do have to factor some of these things in a little bit. Right, I'm just going to check out the comments. We had to use tables to get things to line up before CS says, oh my God, Gary, that takes me back. Square pizza like 25% more pizza or something like that. I know, Robert, I know. I hear you, Robert. I hear you. But you know what? If it ain't perfectly round, they ain't having it. Okay. Very good comment there. Very good comment. So I think that trying to push people to pay a bit more for a website or what you would like to earn or what your normal comfort zone or baseline price is, we are going to be entering rockier roads. And with AI, I feel like web designers are still needed. Human touch is still needed. But there is so much happening now with AI. Where will we be in 1 year, 5 years' time? I don't know. But let's see where we go. Hello, Chris. Hey, Chris Lava. Not seen you for a while. Hope you're okay. Hope you're... Oh, my God. TDR. Even now, Robert, when I have to, like, hack into a table to refine something, and then I come across TD and TR and headers, oh, my God, does it drive me crazy? It's always like the logic, the HTML logic behind tables could not be more convoluted. Could it? Like, who came up with it? Oh, yeah, we're going to do tables, but we won't just call it headers and rows and blah, 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 blah. No, we're going to go for ding, 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 ding. You know, and then when you work out what you got to do for the row, and you think, oh, well, I'll just apply that to the column. Forget that. You now have to think a bit differently. And then you do the header. And then you want to alternate the color. And then it gets screwed up. And then you got to realize you got to do the border. And you add a bottom border. You go, no, 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 it's doubled up. And then you try and make it a single border. But it's such a hassle. But thank God for ChatGPT, right? Gotta love it. Chris Lava still recovering from that client part. Oh, yes. We did catch up, didn't we? Last week, you said you had a client party. Please tell us more. I think a lot of us, all right, you know what? I'm going to shut up now. I'm not going to say another word. I think you see, we just want to learn about this client party, you see. So Chris Lava, spill the beans, you see. What happened there, you see? Did you make lots of friends, you see? Was there anything dodgy going on, you see? I want to know about the party, you see. Olfat Trucker, I start with AS. Wow. Oh, wow. I mean, I used to work as analyst, right, in the NHS, and I didn't really appreciate ASC and all of that, and Latin and all of that, until I started working with databases and SQL. And then when I realized that one was written in one form of that and the another was written in another form, and it's easy to convert, all right? It's not that difficult to convert, okay? You know, to format and all that. It's not that difficult. But when you've come across it and you're doing like an inner join between a fact table and a dimension, for anyone, if you're familiar with SQL, transact SQL and data mining and warehousing and all of that, you'll understand what I mean. If not, don't worry about it. When you're doing like an inner join or a left outer join or something between two tables and it ain't working, and then you find out that the same people built the fact table and the dimensions, but for some reason, one of them was in one form of ANC, III, Latin, whatever, language, whatever, and then another one was in another thing. You sort of go, you built these at the same time. What happened? And they're like, oh, I don't know. I wasn't having a good day. We're going to have a worse day now because I've got to format everything. So Chris Lava, are you going to tell us more about your client party? Or do we have to just start guessing? You know what? I have a serious topic to talk about as well. My dad, I mean, I've got receding hairline. My dad's hairline, I think it goes back to about here. It's been receding for about 12 years. I don't know what to do with my hair because, like, I don't always like brushing it that way. So I might just grow it longer all over, like into a proper mop. Chris Lava, I don't get to these often. Oh, open bar set up by my boss. Extrovert took over after Liquid Courage. Oh, your extrovert took over. Got it. Met lots of people. Don't remember who they were. But sounds like an amazing party, Chris Lava. Amazing party. You know, sounds amazing. Pulp. So, okay, this is interesting. So he says that Pulp and his friend work as a team. He designs websites on Figma, client communications. I build the sites using Elementor and manage most website-related tasks. Our projects, like WooCommerce shop websites, semi-complicated. Following, how should we split? Oh, okay. Now then. Thank you, Palav. Thank you, Palav Manjumdar. Thank you. No. So this is a tricky one, and this is one of those things that you have to have kind of agreed and discussed very early on in your working life, really. So you need to have sorted out the split, because just because, I mean, look, you could argue, right? Okay, look, let me give you an idea, right? let's say you get $10,000 for the website from the client, okay? They may handle the client communication. So there's a bit of back and forth, okay? And they may design it. So my question would be, how much time in hours? In fact, no, yeah, you tell me, right? If you were to put a percentage of hours, so how many hours do you spend building, researching, experimenting, refining all of your time, and how much time do they spend? And who finds the client? Who finds the client, right? And how many hours do they spend and how many do you spend? And I'm not going to say you split it like that, but I want to know what that percentage is, and then I'll tell you what to do. But I need to know who found the client, or did they just come to you? And how many hours or percentage do they spend compared to your spend? Let's go with that. Chris says that turns out everyone drank lots. Conversation was everywhere, but it was fun. It was end of the day. City's 10-day party, so it ended well. I can't be asked for parties. Right, Palav asks a very great question. Do you know, Palav, I was disappointed. I'll tell you why, okay? So I'm now going to tell you about yesterday's Indian restaurant meal. The restaurant were fine. The staff were fine. You know, it was clean. Everything was okay, right? The drinks were okay. Starters was a poppadom each, okay? I don't like to eat, you know, too many carbs, but I had half a poppadom and my wife had one and my son had one. Great. Starter. My wife had chickpeas with like this dried bread called a puri, right? So chana puri, so chickpeas and that. She got her starter. It was about this big. It was quite big with lots of chickpeas. My son had a samosa. He got one samosa, which was, I mean, it was about that big. It's about that big. It wasn't even a big samosa. He got one. I had sheikh kebab, and I got 2 sheikh kebabs, and they were about that big each, 2 of them. And they didn't take long to eat. So we ate really quickly. And then my wife was still sat there eating. So I felt like the proportionality of what we got weren't right. Then we got our main. So my wife got like mincemeat naan bread, and it was big, with some chicken sauce, and she got loads of sauce. Okay. My son had a tandoori chicken with chips. He got a fair amount of chips, and his tandoori chicken was reasonable size. I ordered a mixed meat platter because that's the main. There was 1 sheikh kebab. There was about 3 lamb chops, little lamb chops, and there were about 3 little chicken pieces. And again, it was like, this does not take long to eat. So I just felt like the proportionality was shit of what I got. Sorry, I had to kind of declare that all to you, really. The proportionality was not good. So Pulp, usually client finds us, but sometimes he finds the client, and usually I spend 75 hours and he may spend 25. So in a 100-hour project. Okay. I would say that I would want to split it 60-40. You can't do 50-50. 75-25 feels a little bit unfair if maybe they found the client, right? I mean, you could even argue, right? Hear me out on this, right? Okay. If the client comes to you, then you split 75-25. Plain and simple. Okay? Plain and simple. All right? If, however, he finds the client, so you wouldn't have got way paid anyway, I would say split 60-40, because you have to take into account you're going to take on the stress. They may design it, okay, and you may talk a bit, whatever, and they may want to make your life easy as well, but you're doing the headache work. And just because they do the client communication, come on. You drop an email, they email you back, you might have a video call, you might have a meeting, whatever. It ain't that difficult, all right? It ain't that difficult. The difficult bit is now when you realize you've got to make 20 changes. That's the difficult bit. How much refinement? Maybe there's a knock-on effect. Maybe that plugin you used is no longer viable. So in my opinion, because you have client finds us or we find them, the client finds you 75-25, plain and simple. And if you now need to start logging your hours because they don't like that, it can get messy, because how do you prove that someone spent that amount of time? And people might go, oh, I spent 5,000 hours on it. Today, I did 89 hours in one day. That's the kind of bullshit you'll hear. But if they find you, no, sorry, if he finds them or she finds them or whoever finds them, I would say 60-40. Right? 60-40. Was the taste good? If I'm honest, right, Palav, I found the taste of the... Right, you know when you have it... For those of you that understand Indian cuisine, right, sheikh kebabs are like your kebabs, you know, they're long, like, it's like a sausage rolled and, you know, squashed together, all of that, okay? I prefer sheikh kebabs that have been freshly made. And it looks like a kebab and it's freshly made and it just has that, like, it's been made, right? And it feels rich. These kebabs, they have been made, you know, they're not from the freezer, but they lack what I call the grittiness of meat, the chunky meat feeling when you put it in your mouth. I'm not trying to be erotically graphic here, but it's that chunkiness, that feeling of, wow, that's meat. You know, who here has had a buffalo burger? If you've had a normal McDonald's cheeseburger, right, and then you have a lamb burger or a beef burger, right, whatever, from somewhere else, when you have a buffalo burger, you know the difference, right, with meat, right? And I just felt like, yeah, that's probably what it was, Palam. I just felt like that, you know, it was like, and the meat weren't that thick either, right? So it's obviously been skewered. And again, I'm not trying to be erotic here, but it's been skewered, right? But I would say, you know, if you were to put your finger in and like slice it and then flatten it out, I would say the meat was about like, let me try and get my finger in. It's not focus. Normally it's really good at focusing. Don't know what's wrong with the focus today. All right, there you go. It's about like that. In fact, I would say I mean, even my finger, my little finger is thicker than the meat. And I prefer it when the sheikh kebab, right, is like as thick as my thumb, right? Right? You know, thicker than my thumb. God, what's up with the focus today? I don't know what I've done to the focus. Normally the focus, there you go. It's because I'm too close, right? I want it to be thicker. Right? I want it to be thicker. It's because I'm moving too much, isn't it? I keep moving, you know, a bit like an electric today. Sorry. So I was disappointed. You know, if I want a sheikh kebab, I want a hardcore sheikh kebab. Again, this sounds all erotic, doesn't it? Look at all the things we've done today. Hardcore, thick meat. Yeah, I mean, Pulp, this is a difficult one, all right? You got to have that conversation. And I feel like it's a difficult one. It depends on how well you get on and how open you can be. And if you can say, hey, look, you know, in terms of the cost, I think we need to review it. It becomes it can be difficult. Buffalo Burger, yeah, Chris Lava, you know what I'm talking about, right? It's lovely, isn't it? Robert's never had a kebab. I'm in Houston. Well, to be honest, I feel like with any type of meat, right? Any type of meat, yeah? You want to have... If I'm going to have meat, it's got to be meat. I don't want I don't want to tacky. Like, if someone gives me minced meat, I don't want the minced meat to, like, crumble when I, like, pick it up. It's like, you know? Like snowflakes. No. I want the minced meat to be a snowball. Right, okay. I've been live now for 1 hour 19. It's coming up to 5 o'clock. And I'm pissed off that that dual recording didn't work. If I'm honest, I'm really like, oh, God. I've got to record it again. There's nothing worse than when you record and then you realize you got to record again. However, during today's live chat, when that question that was asked by Old Fat Trucker about people not wanting to pay more, I'm going to download that and I may stitch it together to create a separate video about people who may want to pay less, because I do think that my very ageist opinion about what people pay for, do you think I was true or right there with what I said? I think some people won't like it, what I said, but I feel like I make a point about people over 40 have a different viewpoint of respecting that you sometimes do have to pay a bit more for quality and certain standards. And then the younger you go, that respect for quality starts to drop off a little bit. And it's more about what can I get for as cheap as possible. Okay, everyone, I'm going to drop off now. Thank you very much for being here. It's been fun. I have to now go and bang my head in shame because of my earlier video I recorded that did not go very well. And I need to go and find my son. He's been out for about a couple of hours. I don't know where he is. He's probably been kidnapped. I don't know. Anyway, look, take care. See you all soon. Yes, we do, 100%. Thanks very much, Gary, for that. See you all soon.